everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another monthly wrap-up video for the month of March 2020. And what a month it has been. Pandemic, quarantine, take shelter orders, no toilet paper. I mean, not to quote someone else's meme or anything, but I don't mean to brag, but this is like the 6th end of the world that I've survived. I'm sorry, that one cracked me up because it's just, okay. Whew. All right, so due to the quarantine and me totally using that as an excuse to not do anything except for legit just sit out on the hammock in the backyard and read, I actually have a really nice pile this month. And with our New Year's resolution of keeping these videos more concise, we're going to make sure that it's under 20 minutes. Because Ivan gets, of all things, Ivan gets really annoyed when I make videos that are over 20 minutes. I mean, if it were up to him, all my videos would be like 5 minutes, but okay, all right. So we're just going to get right into it to keep everything concise. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, so what Kim read in the month of March 2020. First off, we have In Some Other Life by Jessica Brody. And I just have to say that this cover, oh my gosh, and then look at that. Look at the spine. We're gonna have a bunch of really good ones for the most gorgeous cover tournament of 2020 because we're already on a roll and it's only March, which I keep saying, which I say it's like only March, but it's like a third of the year. Whew, wow, I don't like thinking of it like that. Okay, anyway, let's just get right into it. Oh, it's a quarter. My gosh, I can't do math. It's actually a quarter of the year. Okay, I thought because it was the third month and third. Okay, all right. Anyway, In Some Other Life, I keep wanting to say In Another Life. In Some Other Life, basically the main character, whose name is Kennedy, basically the whole book is about choices, how your choices will affect your future, how one choice will lead to another choice, and it's kind of one of those like parallel universe type things, but it's not sci-fi. Basically, she hits her head, wakes up in this alternate universe where she had made different decisions, and those different decisions had led to different outcomes. She gets to go to this private school that she had been dying to go to. She gets to be best friends with an Instagram celebrity that she followed, and the whole thing is one of those coming of age learning situations where she realizes that what she had is actually great, but of course, naturally, you don't know that until you don't have it anymore. It was actually a really good book. It was easy to read. The lessons were very good. I enjoyed it. So, I mean, I would recommend it. It's kind of a girly book, I will admit. So, like, the teenage boys probably wouldn't like this. But, I mean, like I said, it's easy to read. The story was solid. I liked the characters. I enjoyed it. So, there you go. Plus, the gorgeous cover. In Some Other Life. Okay, next we have another gorgeous cover. The Dark Beneath the Ice by Amalinda Berube. I read one of her books last year, also with a fabulous cover. I think I got this one better than the other one that I read. Basically, Marianne, she thinks she's losing her mind. She is, her parents just split up. She's having to go stay with her aunt. She's dealing with all these different problems. She legit thinks that she's going crazy, but then it looks like actually she might be possessed. And I'm sure there was some kind of underlying lesson and metaphor, but I'm not very good at that. I'm good at detecting the metaphors. I'm just not always good at deciphering the metaphors. So the story itself, as it is written, I enjoyed, but I have this feeling that it's deeper than what I was contemplating. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was creepy. But again, I have this feeling there was this whole other level that I just didn't actually penetrate. So it was probably better than I actually realized it was. What can I say? I'm not that deep of a person. I don't mean to. It's just, I don't know. It's just how it is. It just, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Plus this cover. Let's look at the cover one more time. That cover's fabulous. So there you go. Okay, then we have Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Ta-da! Okay, so I have actually started reading more of Stephen King. There were lots of people who told me, because the first one that I had ever read was his newest book, The Institute, and it was so-so. I was a little disappointed because I was expecting like this crazy literary masterpiece coming from Stephen King. And so everyone told me, well, no, this isn't his best work. You have to go back, read some of his older stuff, read some of the classics. I don't know if this is considered a classic or not, but I decided to read it. I actually watched the first season of the TV show, Mr. Mercedes, and let's be honest, the whole reason I decided to watch it was because Harry Treadaway was, one of the main roles. And you guys know that I love him. Okay, again, I'm not that hard to figure out. I'm not hard to psychoanalyze. I'm not that hard to please. If Harry Treadaway's in it, I'm going to watch it. And I really enjoyed it too. It was actually a really good show. And so then when I had the chance to get this book, I said, oh my gosh, let's get it. Let's read it. Let's see how it does. And actually, when you compare the two, the TV show did well, but as in all cases, I'll just say that the book is better than the TV show. It was nice having like character faces while I was reading it, because the book was really good. The mystery was interesting. You get down into, the psychoanalysis of why Mr. Mercedes did what he did, why he's messing with Frank Hodges from afar. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. This is actually a part of a trilogy, with an extra book, apparently. Apparently, The Outsiders by Stephen King is considered the last book in the Finders Keepers series. I didn't know that. And I'm pretty sure I'm getting the Finders Keepers series for my birthday, so I will read it and I will tell you. But I really enjoyed Mr. Mercedes. It was a great book. It was a great mystery. Well, it wasn't really a mystery. It was a great crime drama. And it was emotional. And I really loved the characters. And I really love Harry Treadaway. What do you want me to say? Okay. Next, we had the annual reading of The Secret of the Sevens by Lynn Lindquist. You guys know I read this every year. For some reason, this book really resonated with me. It's incredibly intelligent. It's emotional. The mystery is really good. It doesn't matter how many times I read it. Even though I know what's going to happen, when I read it, I end up being surprised all over again. I keep seeing different things. This year, when I was reading it, I actually tried to remember everything that I had read before. But what's nice is that it's actually so detailed that while you don't get lost in the details, when you go back to read it, there are a lot of details that you didn't necessarily remember. Does that make sense? Get it? Yeah, I think Lynn Lindquist should write another book that's a lot like this one, because I really liked it. It's really cool. Basically, this Singer School, a private institution for underprivileged kids, it's got a new chairman of the board who's insisting upon selling the school, but the secret society of the Sevens, who everyone thought originally murdered Mr. Singer, the founder of the school, is actually coming forth to try and save the school, but they're gonna have to pass all these tests and they're gonna have to do all this stuff to try and actually save the school without breaking any laws and without, being with all the legalities. And like I said, the actual scavenger hunt, the hunt for the Sevens, is actually really, really good. I really liked it. I think this would be perfect for teens, even if they don't necessarily like reading, getting them into reading. I think this would be a good one. So, Secret of the Sevens. I read it every year. We're not traveling this year when I read it, because normally I'm traveling in Europe. But oh my gosh, guess we can't go to Europe because of this stupid virus. So, thanks a lot, China. I'm sorry, was that racist? I didn't mean for it to be racist. It's just where that came from. Okay, all right. I don't know. Let's just move on, shall we? Good idea. Okay. So then I decided to read the illustrated version of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Ta-da! My mom actually got this for me for Christmas. Actually, I think it was not this year, but last year. And I've already read The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I already have, the paperback version, but this is the illustrated version. So it has pictures and it's really good. I have to say that, again, looking at it, it's rather sophisticated looking, but it's still a kid's book. It still has illustrations in it that kids would appreciate. And I like how, I assume John Boyne was involved in the illustrated edition. He wrote the book. I'm not sure who illustrated it. Oliver Jeffers illustrated it. And I like how he actually kept in mind that this is a kid's book. It is a book meant for kids, to teach kids a little more about the Holocaust, you know, having them look at both sides of the issue. And it's really great. I liked it. I loved the illustrations. The book is incredibly powerful. I will admit that this time I read some reviews on this book last time I read it, and I was actually surprised at all the negative reviews I found on this book. Because I didn't really think there was anything negative, but there was one thing that kind of stuck out to me that then stuck out while I was reading it this time. And that is Bruno's mispronunciation of words. I get the whole not getting what's going on. I get the whole, you know, who are those people in their striped pajamas? Why can't I go play with these kids? You know, the confusion and the ignorance because he is a child. But I have to admit, his mispronunciation of words like Führer and Auschwitz, they did get on my nerves just a little bit this time, which I don't like that. It annoys me that that happened, but I get it. Makes sense? Yeah, but I still love this book. I mean, it's brilliant. It's perfect for kids. You know, the illustrations are gorgeous. So a great reading of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. Okay, next we have another annual reading, The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. I don't really need to say anything about this, do I? I mean, you guys know that I adore this book. You know, it is my all-time favorite book. I read it every single year. And I mean, it just gets to the point where, you know, even if I don't make plans to read it, I just start craving it. I start wanting to get back into the mystery. You know, it was a bit torturous this time because this book inspires a want and a need to travel, to see different places, to experience new cultures, to you know, just the pleasure of discovery, you know, going and seeing something that you've never been to before, seeing something that has been there longer than you have, longer than, you know, in some cases your family has. And again, it was a little cruel this time, just because while I'm reading it, I'm sitting there going, oh, I really want to travel, and now I can't travel, so figures. But I mean, this book has been all over the world with me. I mean, I read it in London last year in, let's see, was it the year before? Or was it 2 years before? I think it was the year before. I was reading it on a train going through Italy. So, I mean, it's just one of those books where you can pick it up, you can take it with you anywhere, you can be inspired by it, you can love it. The mystery just keeps getting better and better the more you read it. You know, you're inspired to try and learn more. Even non-historians will end up reading this book and saying, oh my gosh, can I get into historical research? So it's just a great book, The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. If you haven't read it, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to read it. And do it now during the quarantine where you have time. Okay, next we have, okay, no, let's do these first. We have the Day of Honor series, books 1 through 3. First, book 1, Day of Honor, Star Trek Next Generation, Ancient Blood. Book 2, Day of Honor, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Armageddon Sky. And then Day of Honor, book 3, Star Trek Voyager, Her Klingon Soul. As you guys know, I've been on a Star Trek kick. I mean, you can thank Star Trek Picard for coming out. I mean, as you can see, I even got me this shirt for our anniversary. I mean, I've always been a Trekkie, but I mean, and in Star Trek Picard, there you go, Harry Treadaway is a Romulan, which I'm pretty sure we've already talked about that before, but I mean, I've even started watching Star Trek Discovery. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it. In fact, like the pilot episode, I was like, this is stupid. Did they ever watch Star Trek? But now the more I watch, the more I actually really like it. And they just got into the mirror universe that we were introduced to back in the original series. Plus, Shazad Latif is in it. So again, I'm not hard to please, okay? Listen. So anyway, so yes, so I'm on a Star Trek kick. I have this huge pile of Star Trek books that I actually have not even started reading yet. And I keep telling myself that I don't need to go back to Second and Charles and get more because I already have this huge pile. Plus I'm getting some more for my birthday. So it's just, Plus, I've been watching more and more. I mean, we went through the movies. I'm working my way through a lot of the TV series again. So anyway, so the Day of Honor, it's all about the Klingon tradition of taking a day out of their year and actually celebrating their enemies, acknowledging the honor of their honorable enemies. Because if you know anything about the Klingons, they're all about honor. And I have to say, it was really fascinating. I believe it was actually, it might have been the Voyager book. I'm not even sure. I can't remember where they were talking about this, but they were actually talking about the Klingon culture, how they're so animalistic, they're so instinctual, they're so aggressive, that without the idea of honor, it would be chaos. But because they've got this such a strong sense of honor, it actually corrals them into a more civilized society. And I never really thought of it like that, and I actually really liked it. I love Klingons. I think Klingons are fantastic. I mean, I love Worf so much, and his brother Kern. And now that I met B'Elanna in Star Trek Voyager, and I have to say, I'm actually starting to appreciate the Klingons in Star Trek Discovery. And plus, I watched The Undiscovered Country with Ivan, and surprisingly enough, he actually really loves that movie. I was not expecting him to. I love that movie, but it's not one of the more popular ones. But then Ivan watched it with me, and he's like, wow, I actually like that one better than most of them. I guess there's a reason Ivan and I belong together. But anyway, so basically each of these books is about, you know, the Day of Honor within each of the franchises. There is one more book in the series, and it's the original series, because actually that's where the Day of Honor had started, with James T. Kirk. And the problem is that I have seen that episode. It's just been a really, really long time. So I still have to go back and rewatch that episode before I read the original series book, so I actually remember what's going on. So that's why I haven't actually finished the series yet. But anyway, the series is actually really good. You get a good look at the Klingon characters within the series. You get a good look at Worf. You get a good look at B'Elanna. And I mean, I really liked it. The stories are great. You have characters that you have already fallen in love with within, you know, the Star Trek universe. So it's not like you're getting anything new, but yet you are getting new stuff. And I mean, it's a great series. So, I mean, there you go. Day of Honor. Ta-da! See if I can take a picture for the thumbnail with this. What a great idea, guys. See, y'all bring out the smarts in me. What can I say? Thank you. You guys are wonderful. Okay, anyway, so there you go. There's that. Oh, I forgot I have one more book. And then we have House of Shadows by Darcy Coates. And oh my gosh, this cover. Fabulous. Okay, this one is about Sophie and her randomly found husband who takes her back to Northwood Manor. And something is very wrong. It's being haunted. Something like that. Sophie has to try and figure out what's going on to save herself and her new husband. It's creepy. I got really involved in it. It was easy to read. There is a second book, the sequel, which I am reading right now to find out exactly what happens with everything. It's really good. If you like really creepy, but yet not, oh my gosh, scary, this book is a good one. Plus a fabulous cover. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's what Kim read. All right. We have just enough time to finish this before we hit 20 minutes. Okay. Most favorite and least favorite. Dang it, guys. Okay, we've already read those, so they don't count. Okay, least favorite, I have to say, is The Dark Beneath the Ice, just because I'm not sure I got it. I enjoyed it, but it's just not my favorite. It's just my least favorite this month, sadly. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we're going to say most favorite is Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. I got really involved. It's a really good book. I can't wait to finish the series. There you go. Okay, so least favorite, most favorite, ta-da. All right, so that's what Kim read in the month of March. Make sure that you tell us what you've been reading down in the comments. Tell us your thoughts, your opinions. Tell us what you're doing to keep busy during quarantine. We'd love to hear from you, and we will see you next month for our April wrap-up. Everybody have a great day. Bye.